Hello, and welcome to this parent information session concerning a flaw in mathematical logic that tends to be common amongst algebra students. So, pull this up here, and this presentation is called Student Mathematical Logic, a Common Error in Solution. My name is Philip Beaver, and I'll be exploring this with you guys today. So, when I was doing a field experience at Jefferson High School, I administered two different assessments. And one thing that I saw, which was rather interesting, was the lack of correctness in arithmetic involving negative numbers. If you can see my pointer here, we see that the sign here on y is given to be 2, but it actually should be -2. If we look in the math here, you're supposed to add together 3y and -5y, and they got +2y. You see, it should be -2y. And then even then, there's still an arithmetic error here because it should be -1. Okay? Somehow we got 2 out of 2y = 2. So that was one problem that I noticed. And a shocking 10 students out of 20 made this error. A staggering 50% of the students in this class made this type of error on this problem. Now, if we look at the second assessment that I gave them, we can see it shows up again. And this is not the only instance. We look right here, we see 5x = -15. That should be a -3, but it comes out to be a 3. Okay, so I also noticed that 13 out of 20 students made this error, an even larger amount. So parents, what can we do to help these students? Well, first of all, we need to understand it. So we're going to go ahead and give a short explanation here. Subtraction of negative numbers was one of the issues. Okay, so if I was to add 5 to -10, okay, the student was writing 5 or -15, and the flaw lies in not understanding the numbers. So if we think about having a number line, okay, the negatives would go to the left and the positives will go to the right on the number line. If they're opposite directions on the number line, you're not increasing in value. So -15 is not a viable option, since 5 and -10 are in fact opposites. One is positive and one is negative. Now, 5 is not the correct answer because the difference of these has the negative number as greater. Okay? The negative number 10 is a bigger number than the number 5. So it should be a -5, not a +5. So basically, the bigger number sign is kept if one is positive and one is negative. Okay, there were no issues with 5 plus 7, like having the same sign. There was no issue there. It's when there are opposite signs that this becomes a problem. The second part was multiplication and division. So we see that exactly in that example, 5x = -15. So what is x? Students were saying 3. And the general flaw is it's either a neglect to write a negative sign or they don't understand. Okay, so if I was to multiply 5 times any positive number, I would get a positive number. If I was to multiply 5 times any negative number, I'd get a negative number. Okay, to make a long story short, an odd number of terms that you multiply together. So if I was to multiply 3 times 3 times 3, that would be a negative number of terms, but they're all positive. So because they're all positive, it gives a positive answer. If there's an odd number of negative terms being multiplied together, it gives a negative answer. If there's an even number of negative terms, it becomes positive. Okay? And so this is the concept that we need students to understand. Okay? This will help them to not only score better, but to understand the mathematics more so they can further their understanding in other areas. So back to what I was talking about earlier, what can the parents do to help? The first thing is to be involved. Being involved is the most important thing a parent can do. Left and right saying that with the right and proper support, all students can succeed in school. Typically, it's those students that don't have that parental support. They're not the ones that are succeeding in the classes. The ones that are have the support of their parents. So the most important thing to do is get involved. But now that you're involved, what are you going to do? So we can do things such as arithmetic flashcards. Okay. So one thing we can do is we can go to flashcardmachine.com, which I have pulled up here. Flashcardmachine.com, you can click right here. Okay, go to flashcardmachine.com/integer-operations1.html. You can click right here, the flashcards. So I can click the print button, okay, and it would send me up to a screen that will show me exactly how to print flashcards so you can do them with your student. Okay, flashcards will have the correct answer on one side and a question on the other side. So what you will do is when they get it right, you would set it aside. And hopefully going through flashcards multiple times will allow students to start to see the patterns. And this will give them a better understanding of integer operations with arithmetic. Okay. The other thing we can do is to let them play math games online. So the other thing I have pulled up is www.freetrainingtutorial.com/negative-numbers-games.html. And it doesn't necessarily have to be this page, but you can use any math page that has safe interactive games on it. But this one in particular has some really good ones. For example, the Town Creator. Okay, this game allows you to level up, and it gives these students a little bit of a competitive edge while they're learning the mathematics. And it's this kind of competitive edge that gives them a little bit of extra engagement, that little bit of concentration that they need in order to start learning it. So this is another smart way to help your students practice. So, like I said, we go to do flashcards or we do the training tutorial. Either one of those things are a really nice object to help your students learn arithmetic operations a little bit better. So you're going to have your students do this, and how are they going to respond? So odds are all students are different. You're not going to have two students that respond the same way, but they're likely to be in one of three different subsets. The first one is apathetic. And the apathetic group is the group that doesn't have a whole lot going for them as far as their motivation is concerned. There's just no desire to learn math. So I would argue that there's a deeper problem here, one that they don't understand the significance of either education or mathematics itself. And I hope that you as a parent would be able to help motivate your student, either using some kind of incentive or some other positive thing to help your student gain some interest in mathematics. And then once we get past this level, then we can start to teach them other things. The second group is interested. Okay, this is the group that's dabbling, I would say. They're learning, but it's slow. So what I would offer advice-wise for them is, as a parent, I would just say be patient and help them out as best as you can. I know that this group is a group of students that may struggle at times, but these students have the ability to learn and should just help their students as much as they can. Even if they don't necessarily understand the material, they can still be there and assist the student as they are learning through either flashcards or the online game. The last group is the engaged group, and this is the group that will start to get the material eventually. They're learning well on their own, and the people in this category are likely to get back to the pace, to get back to that caught up state, so that way they're not falling behind and they can start to learn those other mathematical concepts that they need to learn. So in summary, I want to reiterate the importance of parental involvement. This is something that is so vital to the success of students. And I want to first thank you for watching this video because this shows an interest of you, the parent, to help your student. And that is step one in getting the students help, is to have some genuine interest in their grades and their abilities. And now that you are interested and are showing that, we can combat these misunderstandings with practicing the arithmetic. And you can use flashcards or online games to help you with that. It is up to you, the parent, to which one you're most comfortable, whether it's your personal interest as the parent to inspire them, or it is the personal interest of the students themselves. Each one of them is a method of engagement that will help the student learn. So I hope this works for you. If there's any questions, don't hesitate to leave comments here on YouTube. I'd be happy to answer those. And I want to thank you for your time. So now, once again, I want to thank you for watching this video, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave comments in the section below this video. Otherwise, have a fantastic day.